Hello little heartbirds, it's Nerissa here from twoheartbirds.com, the internet's most delicious and exciting and passionate daily wedding video blog ever. Today I am going to give you 5 tips on how to keep your guests happy at your wedding. Now you know the story goes, happy wife, happy life. Well, the same thing goes for happy guests, very happy wedding. So here are my 5 tips. Tip number 1, try and keep the time in between the ceremony and the reception as short as you possibly can. Meaning, don't go off having photos for 5 hours and your guests will go absolutely crazy. Try and limit that time if you can for as short as possible. Now I know going off and having photos is very important, but the longer you leave, the more, itchy the guests will get. I don't even know what that means, but you know what I mean. Also too, if you are having your reception in the same place that you're having your ceremony, try and make sure that your guests are watered and fed as soon as possible after the ceremony so they don't, go stir crazy. That's number 1. Number 2 is that make sure once you've arrived at the actual reception that the first course or the cocktail courses are served within about 20 to 30 minutes. You don't want your guests sitting down at tables or wandering around without any food, especially if they're drinking. So try and be snappy on the timeline with that after you've entered and you've sat down. Number 3, make sure you have good music. And by good music, I mean, don't just necessarily choose the music that you think is good. For example, I love Garth Brooks and Dolly Parton, and I could sit there and listen to them and dance to them all night long, every day of the week, every week of the year. I don't think many people share my music joy. So just try and think about that, and just try and have music which I guess expands the age gaps and the generation gaps and and the pop culture, rap, country music gaps. So just try and think about trying to get as many people on the dance floor as possible by choosing songs that lots of people would dance to. Number 4, limit the speeches. Now, I know that there are some people who would like to speak at your wedding, perhaps you would as well, and your husband as well, but just try and make the speeches as short, sharp as you possibly can. It's a really good idea that just to keep the day flowing and to keep your guests, happy and entertained. Short speeches, not too many of them. And number 5, you and your husband are the most important people of the whole entire day, and it's why your guests are here. So it's really important that you get around to every single one of your guests and make them feel loved and feel special. After all, that's the reason why they're there, and it's really important to meet and greet them and thank them for coming personally to your wedding. So there's 5 tips for your happy guests at your wedding. Question of the day is this, little heartbirds. What is your number 1 tip for keeping your guests happy at your wedding? Until next time. Doo, 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 doo.